Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing tonight, baby?
Hey,
We're yeah. I want you to get in the picture. Glad to have you with us tonight. Welcome to live class, and I hope you've had a great day today. I'm Tony Sawyer. This is my husband, who never speaks to you guys until I say something.
good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. If I don't see you no more, good morning
And
again.
this is the infamous Clifton Sawyer.
Hey, see you.
They see you too. They see you. Let's see who's here. See who's here. Ah, I think I'm gonna change my background.
Now,
What's it? What? What is mean?
hey,
Anyway, we're acting silly
Anyhow.
again already. Hey, brother. What was that?
I don't know. I started.
Well, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't know how to do it.
You know, we have these bells.
We don't know how to do it. You hit it one time, didn't you?
I did.
Can you hit it again?
I don't want to.
You can't hit it.
I don't want to do it again.
You don't forget how to hit.
Yes, I have.
Oh.
Hey, brother-in-law and sissy. Hey, y'all. And there's brother James. Hey, James.
James Lee, how you doing out there, man? Talk
You
to
and
me.
Kelly. Did you get my message? That we did get Kelly's message about how things went with the doctor. So thank you for letting us know. Dee and George, how
George,
are
yeah,
you?
that's-
How are
I need
you?
to see you, George. You come over here and let me talk to you.
Oh my gosh, you make it sound so serious.
It is serious.
So
It is
serious.
so serious.
Hello, Catherine.
Catherine
Have you
Lee,
been with us before? I don't remember seeing your name, young lady. And
Yes.
if you haven't been with us before, let us know where you're watching us from,
Yeah, please do.
please, and how you heard about us. Hey, Vern.
Vern.
She's doing taxes. I know she's swamped with taxes right now. She's doing that's the season for her. And there's Jill. Hey, Jill.
You,
And baby girl's coughing. Hey, John Grease is in the
Tom
house.
Greason, outdoor man.
Linda
Right,
Langdon,
and
how are
most
you? How are you, Linda Langdon?
Linda Lee. Good to see you,
Yeah.
Miss
How are
Linda.
things in your neck of the woods?
Then Miss Linda, baby girl, been really sick, girl.
But don't go into that right now, okay? She's
Okay.
not sick. She's just aging and has some issues. She's all right. Just they're just right now pronounced. So that hey, Kathy, now I know who you are. Y'all think you told us this once before, and I just couldn't remember. Anyway, I'm glad you're here, darling. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. I think I want to change the background just a little bit.
I don't see why.
You like it?
It's all right with me.
You like it?
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everything's fine with you. You don't you don't see anything wrong with anything, so that's okay. Anyway, let's do our affirmation meditation. What? That should be a compliment. Should be a compliment. Oh my gosh.
That's my little Margie.
Please let me
My little
know.
girl.
Let us know if you're hearing and seeing us clearly. And I don't know if my sidekick here is going to talk about this, but I wanted to just mention some things about the inner child. I found this online today, and we'll talk about a little bit more as we go.
You think so?
I will.
You think they're ready to hear that?
I think, yeah, I think so. I think so. And I should have put it on a larger screen, but anyway, you'll get the gist of it. What are you doing now?
You're close to you.
Yeah, but I can't move the thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. You're gonna be like that tonight, I see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody else must. Thank you guys for letting us know that you can see us.
I can see you.
Yeah, John Greasy said we're going for a swim. That's why I said I'm gonna change the background because you guys.
Who's going for a swim? Ain't nothing wrong
John
with
John Greasy said that.
that. Young Grace, you're quick. I bet you ain't riding my motorcycle in the rain.
Anyway, we got to stop playing and cutting up. Hey, Sharon. How you doing, young lady?
Sharon.
Thank you, Sissy, for letting us know you can hear and see us. Thank you so much. All right. I think this is what I want to do. Just a quick meditation prayer. Are you ready? No, you're not, because you're messing with me.
I wouldn't want to mess with you.
Well, you can't do that right now.
Why we on live?
Yeah, but that's not the time to do it.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God.
Hey, y'all, she don't understand puppy love.
The only puppy in here is down here on the floor.
Well,
eating treats.
We're gonna have a talk with Jesus.
The rest of the dogs in here are old dogs. They're not puppies.
Oh, yeah, what she just said to me. Call me an old puppy.
I called you an old dog.
That's a dog. Y'all gonna have to tighten up on this girl. She getting a little bit out of hand here lately.
This morning we got up. First thing we did this morning.
Don't tell them that. That's new. That's personal.
Oh, baby, come on.
Okay, go ahead.
First thing we did this morning, we read some errands, and while every place we went, we had to stop at a drive-through window, not for food, just to get some medications and some other stuff. Anyway, every time we stopped at a window, baby girl was getting treats.
I mean, they loaded her up within the day.
One place she got four treats.
And I had one in my hand. I act like I was gonna bite it. She got all upset.
She got all around up on top of him. She stood up on the top of him because he held on to the treat. And when he did, she was trying to get it and jump and was all over top of him, drooling.
Oh my! They thought I was having a fit. Stuff was all over. I said, she gonna drool in my cup of water. What was that? And make my water sick.
Anyway. Good afternoon, Dad Brondo. Sister Chris said she liked the water. It was very calming. Should I put it back? We're just cutting up. I'm not doing anything today.
I didn't hear no water.
You don't even know what the background was like, do you?
It was all right with me.
What was it?
Just like what it is now.
No, it was not. What was it?
It was all right.
No, it wasn't.
Well, that's all I remember. It's all right.
That's why I said everything's all right to you.
Okay.
So tell me, do you guys want the water back or not for the background? Just tell me. I'll take a vote.
Don't pay you no attention. Baby, we're pumping over on.
And Linda Lane said, "Dog spit won't hurt you."
She was gonna filtrate my cup of water.
His water was in the cup holder. Unfortunately, he did have a cap on it, on his cup. But he said, she putting vitamins in my water.
She gonna put vitamins in my water. Slobbing and drooling for that treat. And the lady was from where? Germany?
She said Brazil. Brazil.
Oh, she had accent. Yeah, she was talking, and I couldn't understand what she said.
Anyway, you guys.
We are enjoying.
Bernie liked the water. Linda liked the water. Christine liked the water. So we're gonna hold the water. We're gonna put. See, you don't even realize what's there. See the water.
Oh, that right there.
Yes.
Oh, that was like to me. It's just a good picture of.
Jill, you have been outvoted, darling. Everybody else is staying water.
Your puppy beating her tail on the ground on the floor.
Anyway, we got to quit talking and yapping.
She begging.
Let's get serious for a minute. For a minute.
Oh,
that's the water.
That's pretty. Right. Two pretty people. Right there.
All right, guys, center in. You gonna do it with us? Mm-hmm. I didn't think so. You're gonna be distracting.
Mm-hmm. I'll be all right.
You will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope so. All right. I'm going in.
Go ahead.
I'm going in.
I don't never go out. Wait. Hey, she done started now. Looking at me.
Oh, she just constantly interrupting and doing
I
stuff to
quit. I
distract.
quit, and I'm gonna sit here waiting. You just look. I look.
They're gonna
I
tune
feel.
us out and
I
leave the
feel. I
room.
feel somebody looking at me just then. I look. There you look at me.
Somebody's gonna just walk away and leave
No,
the
they
room.
won't. No, they won't. You just your imagination's going.
That's not
Yeah,
imagination.
you're going.
No.
It's
No.
your imagination.
Look, Linda says aqua nuts in the water.
Ah.
That's exactly right.
I like that.
Thank you, John. He says Sunday's broadcast was hot, felt warm all day. I'm trying to give you guys a little variety. A little variety. Just a little something, something.
It was good. Now, what you say?
He ain't talking about that. He's talking about the background. You don't even remember what the background was on Sunday, do you?
Baby,
It was the color. It was the color of your shirt.
Honey, I'm a businessman.
Oh my gosh, let me see. Please stop for a moment so we can move on. Can we? Can we? Are you going to talk about anything tonight besides playing? What you going to do? You guys who've been with us for years locally, you know when he gets in this mode, we may not get nothing but jokes for the rest of the day. You all right? You sure? Oh my God. Hey, Kelly. All right, guys. Seriously. Let's go in. Turn inward. This is fun, but let's turn inward. Let's turn inward. Let's leave everything that is of concern, leave it aside. Leave it outside. Anything that may be pressing, any pressing matters, just put them aside for this hour. We don't need that. You don't need it. Worrying about anything right now is not going to make anything happen. Nothing's going to change by worrying about it. And let's just do this quick meditation and prayer. I give thanks to thee, O God, for my existence. I give thanks to thee, O God, for your presence. And I give thanks to thee, O God, for this awareness, for the awareness of my existence. And I surrender the illusion of being a personal self. And we give you the right to make any adjustments in our belief systems, in our thought processes, in our desires, aspirations, in our lifestyle, any changes that need to be made. We surrender to you wholeheartedly, to those changes being initiated. And we thank you for the opportunity to come together, to discover, to learn, to let go of, and to see who we truly are and embody who we truly are. And we thank you for the community, this community, all of us together, having a place where we can voice what we've seen, what we've discovered, a place where we are free without judgments. We're not being judged. And we thank you. We're in a community that accepts us as we are, and we're learning to accept ourselves just as we are. And we thank you for this time. Amen. Amen. All righty. Now you're quiet. Holy moly. This Chris says, variety is the spice of life. Thank you, Sister Chris. We can change our background anytime we get ready, can't we? What now? Now you're gonna just clam up.
I'm waiting on you.
Waiting on me for what?
You want to talk?
I'm the one who's been talking. You got to go ahead. Okay.
We are the nonverbal experts.
Nonverbal experts.
We speak
Mm-hmm.
without verbosity
I don't know what
of words.
verbosity.
We speak by presence.
Okay. This morning, I'm gonna say this. This morning, when I got up, you came to me and you told me that you talked to your inner child and you saw it.
I did.
Okay.
I've been seeing it all day.
And what do you want to say about that? Anything?
Well, when I went in the bank, the lady asked me about baby girl. And when she did, that made me break down a little bit. I went to crying, and she wanted to give me something like my eyes. And I told her that I had been investigating into the child in every one of us. And I told her that the child in every one of us, in one of us, is the child in every one of us, all of us.
We're all children in adult bodies. That's true. Yes.
And Jesus said, except we become his children,
Mm-hmm.
we cannot see the kingdom.
Yes.
So when I saw this the other morning, I had a chance to talk to the child and communicate and hear what the child was wanting. And the child that was developed through what is called the conditioned self.
Yes, the conditions that you lived under.
And that conditioned self has been the child from what is called in this dimension day one.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard for the child to face the fact that it is a conglomerate of situations that started in the womb.
Yes.
But it expanded itself to believe that it was a real person that made Googling sounds and the sounds and tones that it heard was used to develop the child into a language.
Okay.
The child has never been real, and I say that with respect to the child, because the sooner the child realized that it is not in charge. And what brought this about was that I kept hearing the same thing over and over and over for years, and something began to cry out for freedom from those repetitive issues on the PTSD identity. And then it was revealed to me, that the child is the one that's been doing that through the subconscious energy.
Yes.
It was developed and took an oath to itself under the false disguise of being an us.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And all of us.
And it's what we call the little me.
Yeah.
The egoic me. It's a wounded child.
Yeah, and some children are spoiled, some children are wounded, some children's is a spoiled brat, or it is an outspoken, it is a hurt, it cried a lot, it got beaten, it was abused, it felt rejected, it felt unloved. It is all those things
that we now are trying to free ourselves of.
And not realizing that we have never been that. Our true self. Now watch this. This is not to say that it is not real for the point of making it a course in miracles or a scriptural or non-scriptural identity. It is the fact that it actually is convinced that it is still us now. And so I told the people in the bank, I said, when I come in the bank, I can see the child in every one of us, or one of us in the bank, and can tell whether y'all had a good night, a bad morning, mad at somebody, disappointed with somebody, come in and you're short and you're impatient, you don't want to be here. I said, I can see that child in every one of you each time I come in the bank.
Yeah. And it started not with the bank.
No,
but it started here at home, and you were in your quiet time, I guess, while you were up during the night. You said you had a conversation with your inner child.
I did.
So we kind of said some of this on Sunday, that we are the steward and the savior of that little me, and so
the child wants to be saved, and it wants to be noted and recognized as being and I don't want to call it an entity, because it is very sensitive,
and not demonize it. Do not demonize it.
But you said it was our ego.
It is the ego.
Okay.
It is the ego.
Okay.
And you were talking about having a conversation with the little Clifton.
I did. That's his name.
Yes. And at that point, and I'm talking for you because I think he's kind of not in the forefront of your mind right now.
No, it's not.
But you had somehow or another disidentified from it enough.
Yeah.
To be able to see how it operates, and how little Clifton has been having PTSD.
It didn't like its name. It didn't like its environment. It didn't like the condition that it was under when it went to school. It didn't want to go. And when it did go, it caused problems. It was always felt that it was not what the other children in the classroom were. It felt that it would never amount to anything, because the family ridiculed it and made it feel very small.
Yes.
So uninterested in.
Yeah. So
so it did things to be noted.
Yes, and you were aware of all of that, knowing that it was not you that was
not
doing
the real
us, but it was there as a little Clifton that grew up. Because of its conditionings, it was constructed as that. And so when you said you talked to it, and you did tell it that you loved it and all of this stuff. I found this online. Now, this is kind of cool, because I found this online after hearing you say that. I found this, and it's going to look a little disjointed because I've got it printed in here differently. But look, it says, how do I talk to my inner child? And it has words of affirmation. There are a number of reassuring and calming things that you can speak to your inner child. Okay. And the you that's speaking to the inner child is that higher self that you are. Okay. And you can say things to it like, you are safe and loved. I support you. I will protect you. It's okay to feel sad or scared or anxious. It's okay to say no. I love you the way you are. You are kind, smart, funny, important. Speaking to that child in a way that child has not received it before.
Yeah.
I am happy you're here. And so it has a lot of things that, let me see if I got any more here. I think that's it. I am happy you're here. So that I found online, and I thought, well, that's pretty much what we as the higher self do. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned this as well. I wanted to bring this back to your remembrance. Mm-hmm. You said when you saw Jesus, that your initial conversion experience, when you saw Jesus, the bust of Jesus above your head, and his heart was open and broken. Yeah. You realized that was the heart of the little child.
Yeah. I saw it. That's right. That's what
that was broken.
That was broken. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So,
and I saw that, and the way we explained it this morning was that it was the me that had chosen the image of Jesus, because if it was him, any of those things that it went through would no longer be a problem to it, but it would reveal. And what I wanted to do, as a child wanted to do, was to be Jesus,
Yeah,
to be him.
it has its own aspirations.
Yeah, yeah.
In other words,
And
the
it chose
ego.
Jesus to be its image.
In other words, the ego, as a wounded child, as a child, it has its own aspirations.
Okay. Some things coming to me now. Now I understand why that morning there was so much crying and tears is because it was the heart of the child that was broken by actually seeing that the image of Jesus that was seen was real.
And that at that moment, the heart of that child was being healed.
Was being healed. That's right.
And it's been a process of healing over the
50
years.
years.
Yeah.
And it's been a slow process to come to this point now.
Yeah.
And that child that I'm speaking to and speaking of is who I'm talking to online tonight, to all of us.
We all have that inner child.
And you may call it fake, you may call it not real, you may call it an image or an illusion, you may call it ego. But one of the guards of the child is the belief that it is not something that is not real.
And it while it may not, and it is not who you are, it still must be tended to.
It must be tended to by the truth and giving it time to wake up. It is actually wanting to be loved, accepted,
and validated.
Now, is that legal? I don't know. Is that permissible? I don't know. Is it okay? I don't know. All I know is that I recognize that child. Yes. And as I recognize that child, I also saw this, that there has never been a time when that child was without God.
Yes. Did we unplug the phone?
Oh, no. I don't know.
Go ahead. Yes.
I can get it from here.
Well, go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt you. It's already done. You did it.
So now that the child is now that part of me that wants to play and mess with her, but I understand what it is. She is the other child that is don't want to be mentioned too much because it will say, what you mean? It will say, I beg your pardon. It'll say your mama, and then in my child say her mama, and then before you know it, we'll be saying you look like or you act like somebody in your family, and then the little child and her say, yeah. You always. That's the child talking.
Well, the only thing,
and it's doing it now.
Yeah. Well, I told my nephew the other day, I had a conversation with him, that the only time two people argue, what's arguing is their conditionings.
That's right.
One conditioning clashing and conflicting with the other conditioning.
That's true.
That's what the problems in relationships are about.
And pretty soon what will happen is, what is happening is the child is coming to the surface. Now, here's what I also found out. All war, all differences, disagreements, or agreements, wars, spiritual warfares come from inside of all of us, created by using the imagination of the child power to convince itself that these wars, these bad feelings, these upheavals in life are real, and that we need to create a demon or a Satan in the midst of this in order to serve gratification for the blame being on something else other than itself not willing to be healed.
Okay. That was a lot, but yes, I hear you.
That's it, trying to explain the best that it can. Now, there are times when the child don't want to talk.
Yeah.
There are times when the child wants to be left alone. There are times when the child has a bad day or an attitude. That is not the real self, but it is the child believing that it is all there is to be reckoned with. The intelligence of the child develops through years of defenses and protections.
Yeah. Well, actually, yes.
Wow.
Actually, those things that, and I've said this before, but those things that we develop those, I should say, protective mechanisms that we develop when we're a child, they defend and protect us when we're children, but when we're adults, they become prisons.
Look at this.
They become prisons to us.
Yeah. This will tell you, the child, what it really does. Go back and look at all that you can on YouTube about those that are hoarders, that houses are junk with stuff that they don't want to let go, and we do it in small
and,
measure.
and
The
cannot let
child,
and it's not a don't want, it's a can't let go.
it's a can't, because the child is saying, I will never, ever, 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 in a drastic way, be without having everything that I want.
Or what I feel like I
I
need
need.
to feel secure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now that's that. Now we in the church would call that uh, 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 unclean spirit or a demon.
Because we demonized it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
The
demonized
child did that deliberately in order to protect itself from being found out, like the ego. That's what it
it.
is.
So what we've called ego is that child. And so if you look at it as a child, then you tend not to demonize it. When we think of it as an ego, we do demonize it, because we feel like I got to get rid of this, and this is not the right thing to be. You're not supposed to be this. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to behave this way. But not realizing that the inner child is acting out of the conditions that it was under, and it should not be demonized. It should be understood, embraced, and taken care of until the child is healed enough where we can recognize that we're not it.
While we're talking, the memory of the child kicked in then while we're talking.
Okay.
And here's what it said. It remembers the image and the voice as though my aunt is still alive on earth in a body. And she made a statement to my uncle. Why are you beating me? Why do you keep beating me so much? What did I do to you? And the actual image of the child is still locked
into that time
to
anomaly.
that time and that event. If it was not found out
Yes.
that I was not the memories of that child, I am not the one I am the one observing it. I am not the one in it.
Yes.
I am not the one that identifies with it, but I had to find this out, and it's being taken deeper into this, because I said to it, I have had enough of this.
Well, see, we tend to hide in, how do I want to put it? We tend, when we know the truth of who we are, we tend to hide in the fact that everything is okay, that everything in my essence, everything, we hide in that,
and it wants to talk
in
down.
the sense that we don't deal with that inner child. Yeah. And yet that inner child is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It will, I can say, it will come to a point where we no longer identify ourselves as that, and it will have less of a hold on our emotional state. But it will always be with us.
And when my body laid down and in bed all night long till I finally went to sleep, my ears rung from the time I got up to the time I went to bed. Us working with baby girl and her coughing so bad. I'm telling you, Miss Sandra, that little boy, your little grandson, that image that he's got in him now is the way most of us went. And he is that child image, something of an energy in him is developing an identity, and already have. His only hope is his true self.
Yes.
But let me stop. Okay. His true self, hearing something that can trigger that child to realize that what he's developed into is not his real self.
Yeah, yes. And that's my prayer for the two of us, is that the grace will be given to us to be able to put it in language
Yeah.
that people will be able to see.
Pastor Norman just came in
Yeah,
with
I
us.
saw that, Pastor.
That
Norman.
little child.
Because it's really
Oh
needed.
God,
It's really
I've been
needed.
having a crying time today.
It's been having a crying time all day. Yeah.
But you see, you need it need you. It need the other children to talk to. The child wants to talk to children that understand it. Some of the children in us are acting too grown in order to get past certain speed bumps and certain crises in the memory and certain painful injections of energy that steal itself into
we numb ourselves
into its black box. The black box of the child is holding on to things and is hoping that an event will come up whereby it can relive this past life again and try to fix it.
And that's the suffering.
That's the suffering.
That's the suffering. It's constantly psychologically trying to fix it.
Linda said something there, baby.
She's talking about your new word you gave back some time ago.
Oh, volicity.
Vocalosity.
Vocalosity.
Yeah.
That's the child that's speaking, Miss Linda. Vocalosity is words that was never used and could not have been used.
It makes up its own words.
It makes up its own words to give to itself a sense of intelligence. I see that. I understand. Hey, awareness is aware of.
Yes. Awareness is and that's why in the meditation I give thanks to thee, oh God, for this awareness.
You know what? There would never ever be a time that I would talk. And listen, there has never been, and I can see it now. And some of you guys have been around us physically. There has never been a time that a crowd of people would implement in this child stage fright or insecurity amongst people of an audience.
So when we hear the words that we've often heard people say, love yourself, and I've said it myself before. When we say
statement has been made.
Yeah, when we make that statement, love yourself, the self that we're talking about loving is that little me, is with all of its stuff, with all of the junk, all of the pain and the all of the PTSD, all of that, and that only that is love can love it.
The Jesus that has been found to be the child in its security. It has found that Christ is the only that can be sustained in a peaceful, restful state. It has seen that Christ is what it has always looked forward to, because it is at a point now where it has had enough of the false conditions. That has prenuptialized its suffering. Prenuptialized. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
What is prenuptial?
Prenuptial is
divorce.
It's rules that you make before you marry or before you.
All right.
A commitment made prior to.
Now I'm understanding that it is tired of the nuptial idea of feeling like it is abandoned, that it has made many mistakes that cannot be corrected, and is looking for only what can make it comfortable. And I'll tell you something else that I'm realizing. The child do not actually want to have anything to do with God in religion because it's finding out that it has prayed and prayed and asked God for help, and it has not seen any change
And
in
it
it.
feels like God even let it down.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah,
like God
yeah,
let it
yeah.
down.
So would you say that the seeker is that wounded child?
It is.
Yes.
It is that wounded child in every one of us. Every one of us. And it knows that as long as the body has not been finished to work with in the imagination of the illusion, it stands a chance of finding an answer somewhere else outside of God. What is it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just agreeing with you. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it. I
Yeah.
hear it. I'm. It is venting itself now. Even though you guys cannot put you, it's no way you can type in everything that we're saying or what your child would like to say right now. It is 50 years of us, 100 years of others that has never found out that the true identity of this child has never been the conditions that it went through.
Now I'm going to applaud Linda for being transparent today. Thank you, Linda. She says, when I was 4 years old, I was molested. I never forgot, but I never spoke of it until I was 38 years old. Feeling shame all those years, I was stuck trying to reason it as a child, a therapist told me.
And we're talking what your therapist said to you without actually physically being there. But Miss Linda, we were, and let's say it like that. That child was this child now. I ain't saying it right. I just can't. I want to say it the way it would be that cannot be voiced. I want to say it in a way that it be all of us talking. The voice of many waters of all these children are screaming right now, online, speaking, and some of you watching and listening. These children are hurt, and they want to see. And you know what? It's the child that wants something that already is in it.
And to come to the point of realizing that, and that child has to come to the point of knowing that it cannot fix what has happened. It cannot change what has happened. And that realization can only be given to the child by you as that higher self. And I like what Sister Chris says. She says, we keep the prenuptial alive.
That's the word.
As we make the statement, I'm going to make sure that my child will have everything I never had.
Miss Chris, yes. I tried this child in me. I didn't know that it has been this child for 50 years of this life, and finally for 35 years or more, go into the ministry to try to find the answer. And it looked it looked for everybody that it could to treat them not like it was treated when it was growing up. Yep. And it did not work.
And it makes a lot of decisions, makes poor decisions because it's trying to overcompensate for what it's felt all these years. And so as an adult, it makes decisions that sabotages. And until we come to a point, and my reason for bringing it all up is this. For a long time, you felt you were that.
Yeah.
And now you still may have that gravitation once in a while to go back to feeling like I'm that child. You're that child. But you had an awakening last night in the middle of the night and finally came to realize that little Clifton was not you. And that now you are the one responsible for the little Clifton.
Let me tell you something real drastic. When we got married, and for the first night, we stayed together all night. Other times have been intermittent times.
All right.
But now listen, I remember sitting on the side of the bed upstairs in the old house, and I wanted to go back home.
You did?
I did. I wanted
After
to go
you
home.
got married?
Yeah,
Okay.
because this child was so addicted to suffering,
To the
the
familiarity of it.
familiarity of
Yes.
suffering,
Yes.
that it felt that it was the duck out of water.
Yeah, like it was displaced. Yeah,
Now
I can see that.
you felt fine because that's where you were. You were there to a
Mhm.
degree. That was
I
your
was in
home.
familiar surroundings.
But
Yes.
I wasn't. And I
Right.
felt, oh, you don't know how bad I felt. But yet I wanted to be with you, and I didn't want to be without you. But I was scared that if I didn't go home, that my aunt was going to be beat, and I wasn't going to be there
And to protect her.
to
Yeah.
protect
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
The misery that I had that night was beyond words. I don't know whether we talked about it a little bit, but I didn't know what to do with this. This child didn't know what to do because it was conditioned for that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it was hard. God knows it was hard for me to
Yep.
leave her. And when I told you a lot of times I'll be back, I went home.
You went to what was home.
I would what was home, but when I got there, I looked at her when I walked in. The child looked at her, and he could tell by looking at her, oh, that discernment, some kind of way. The child knew that he had hit her. He would walk in out of cutting wood and knock her down in the floor and go back out there in the yard, just for no reason at all, from what I saw. But when I got home one time, he had done that, and he was out and on the side porch cutting wood. And I told him, the child said to him, didn't I tell you? I had told him this way back when I was a little boy, the child, little boy. And I said, I told you not to hit her. Well, he said, I wasn't worried about you. At the time, I put my hand on my gun. I had a 22 pistol in my pocket. If he had come at me with that axe, I was going to shoot him 6 times.
That child was going to do
That
that.
child was going to
Yes.
do that
Mhm.
to stop him because the child had had enough of that.
Right. So
So the child wanted a home that was not in, but it never got it.
so fast forward to when we're married.
Yeah, we're married
So
now.
all of those feelings came up while we were
It's been-
married.
I have dealt with this since we've been together for 56 years.
Mhm.
And this time I decided to approach the child with what is going on. I want to know. I want to find out how to bring this child home.
Yeah.
If it is at any price, it is enough of this prison locked up in this identity that enough of have come to the forefront of heaven.
And I think it's already started.
Oh Lord.
That process has started. Linda's sharing something else. She
Oh,
says, I understand the child. The child lived 34 years in shame until one day the child got mad and spoke out loud.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mad was an improvement over shame. Mad led to healing.
Yeah.
Yes, Linda. Yes. I was talking to my nephew about that same thing, that a lot of times, in particularly men, now sometimes it's women as well, but in men have been taught never show any kind of soft emotion.
I can't help it. I have to.
Yeah, and I'm glad you do. Don't show any soft emotion. So cover your hurt with anger. But at the same time, there are those of us who've been too soft, and we will cover our anger with hurt and remain a victim and never be the one to speak up for yourself, never be the one to get past that point of being a victim. And so I love what you shared. I love what you shared. She said mad was an improvement over the shame. Yes, there's a step up from hurt, and that's anger. But we as Christians been taught, don't be angry. The Bible tells you to be angry and sin not, but we scared to be angry.
Yeah.
So
right.
the little child is always suppressed. And it's like anything else. If you suppress it long enough, it's gonna pop out somewhere else.
That's right.
Anyway,
I hope we said
I
something that would spark some relief in a lot of y'all out there.
if nothing else,
I don't know of anything
if nothing
to
else,
talk about tonight.
the conversation with your little me. Have a conversation with it. Have a conversation with it.
Now, when it says have a little talk with Jesus, tell him all about the trouble, or tell your trouble, or tell Jesus on your trouble. There is no need for anything to be told to God. One thing the child has found out, there is not anything that need to be told to God inside of itself that God is not aware of.
That's true.
There is no need, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm finding out this child finding out. I don't need to pray to God because God is, and has always been. God has always been not only with it, but God has been it.
Yes, and I dare
And the
say,
best it can describe
I
is the
dare
word
say
it.
that everything that we are, and not just
It has never been without God.
not just those parts of us that we think is godlike. Not even just saying that that I truly am is the essence of God. Let's take the leap and realize that even that child is God.
Now watch this. The child is beginning to find out that something or nothing can happen to it. I wrote it down.
Yeah.
The child is finding out that all that stuff that was blocked and lodged into the black box on the inside that comes every Christmas, the memoirs, is finding out that not anything ever happened to it.
Yes,
Glory
yes,
be to
yes, yes, yes.
Glory be to God.
Yes. And all of the covenants were made by the child.
That's right.
All of the covenants. I'll never or I'll always.
Because it was defenseless. It didn't know.
Children are always defenseless and vulnerable. So it had to gather up every defense mechanism that it could to survive this life.
It's going to get you. Every child that meets the child and everybody that they meet is an update of perception of them seeing themselves. Every time you see somebody in the car or meet them, the child automatically looks at them on a subconscious level. It is updated in his peripheral, perceptual, and insight seeing of itself unconsciously.
You just said something. I know this about myself. I discovered it today after you brought all this up. That I have looked at many things in our relationship and other relationships that I've had with other people. I have looked at it through the eyes of the child. I've looked at it through the eyes of that child. And because the child saw a certain way, it had beliefs about that person.
That's right. That's what it looks like. That's discernment. But
the child doesn't have the entire picture. So it comes to a conclusion based on its limited seeing. And we look at life through the eyes of that child.
You know what I just turned to when you said looking through the eyes of the child? What? The child uses what is called perceptual insight lens to perceive identities in the upgrade of every child that it sees when it meets a person or everybody. And it doesn't know that the personhood does not exist, but that's the way it
That's
translates.
that is the makeup of the
It's
child,
the
of
makeup
the
of the
child,
child.
yes, of the inner child.
Now,
Yes.
the key to this is the watcher
Mhm.
seeing clues and knowing what these clues are
Mhm.
when it is
Mhm.
seen. And
Mhm.
this is part
Mhm.
of the child waking up.
And discovering when
I heard it.
when
I
you
heard it.
have
Heard it. I heard
when
it.
you are unknowingly
A child waking
looking
up.
through the child's and have looking through the child's eyes and watching life from the vantage point of the
The
child.
child is the Christ Lord waking up to the Father high self consciousness.
Yeah.
That's it.
So the father's taking care of it.
That's it. That's it.
The father's taking care of the son.
That's it. Same thing.
Yes.
Christ is repeating everything all over
The
again
father's
in
taking
this
care of
child
the
and all
son.
of us.
Yes.
Rest the case.
Ah,
I hope we said something that
This-
sparked you.
this was paradoxical.
This is really
talking, but
healing.
it was-
This is healing.
Yes, it is. It is.
This is healing.
It is.
Now I cannot promise you that next time we talk, we're gonna talk this, squawk this, squawk.
No.
But it's just at this moment.
And I was going to say earlier, you reminded me of it, that at some point you get tired of hiding behind certain principles of truth.
Mm-hmm.
And certain things must be acknowledged. And it must be acknowledged that there is a wounded little me here that's got to be taken care of.
The child uses pain memories to delay the transition of it being facing these memories because they are so painful to it.
They're hard for the child.
And it uses a guard over itself called pain, deliverance, and anything. It will use. I heard a lady preaching, and I could hear the child preaching across the pulpit and saying to the congregation, "We need to clean up." I almost kicked my television over. That child did.
Because that child has decided that it is now living better than everyone else, or more holy than everyone else, more righteous than everyone else, morally living better than more.
I saw the child grab Jesus around his legs, around the knee part of his legs as a little child, and hugged him. I saw that happen just then. Thank you so much for listening to the child talk.
Yeah.
And to the grown-up talk of the child waking up as the Christ. And when it is fully done, nobody knows. But all I do know, the cry of the child is this: Sandra, this child is saying, "I'm ready to come home. I'm ready to return to the Father. From whence
I came
and which I've always been."
And what you're actually talking about, honey, is when we talk about egotistical ideas and other false identities and all of this, what we're actually doing is we're still fragmented. So we are daring to believe that there can be an integration of that we've looked at as ego, and it can be integrated as a part of our being, a part of our being that can be loved, can be healed, can be okay, and it's just really needed. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much, darling. She says a healing portal here tonight. Thank you, sweetheart.
This is the child.
It is. And my prayer, and I know his prayer, is that
Jesus said, "Suffer the little children to come unto me, and
me.
forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of God."
That's right.
And
That's right.
I meant to say something, but I couldn't get it out. I started speaking Latin.
Yes, you did. So we love you. We thank you for bearing with us tonight, and because we bear our souls to you guys. We really do. Whatever we are involved with, when we come before you, it just comes out. It comes out because we know that we're not the only ones dealing with all of these things. And so we want your healing as well as ours. We want you to be healed as well.
I know there
Thank
may
you,
be some
Linda.
that are listening to us that are not checked in, but I'm believing that a lot of people that did check in with us heard this, and I hope it has helped you, love.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
until the next time, we'll be back on Thursday with Pastor Norman at
And
12:30.
he's been on
Yeah,
with us
he's here
tonight.
with us
He
tonight.
didn't say anything, but
Mhm.
so his name.
This kind of conversation isn't one that a lot of people can jump on and
Yeah.
start to talk about. I mean, because it is I won't say it's a deep conversation, but it's one where it cuts deep.
Yeah,
It cuts deep, but it's a good surgical cut. It's a good surgical cut. So we appreciate you guys hanging in there with us tonight, and may your inner child be at peace until we see you again.
Yeah.
Yeah. You thinking?
The child is thinking.
What you thinking?
At the time the police picked it up. Your mom
You need to tell
had
him
spent
to
another
come back.
$500 to keep that child out of jail. He did it 2 or 3 times to keep this child out of jail.
Oh my God.
And yet every weekend the child was trying to put him in jail.
Oh my land.
It sounds comical now, but at the time, the
It
child
was
said,
not.
no, that was what. Now y'all think I'm just talking, making up a story, but I'm telling you what really took place in this child's life.
Yes, John. Tell him, hit the like button. Hit the like button, you guys.
Please,
Hit that
please.
like button.
John, you don't know what you touched my heart, man. You touched
Oh
my
my
heart
goodness.
there, man.
Thank you, John, for reminding me. You know, we don't remember to do
Oh,
stuff.
Lord Jesus.
Thank you. If you guys, and if you haven't subscribed, please do that right now. Hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. By the way, I did share it, I think, on Sunday that we hit the 300 mark with our subscribers. We're now 301.
Thank you.
And so we're growing, but just growing slow, but we're growing steady, and it's good. So please hit the like button because that pushes us up in the algorithm. So when somebody's trying to find this kind of content, we'll show up in the search. Okay, and then they'll be able to hear what we're saying. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
See you on the turnaround. Bye-bye. Please be with us again.